Is that very clear now, Sanjay Kumarji, that because in a local election you tend to look at who your chief minister is, who your MLA is, unlike a national election where the BJP says there is Modi only. That formula may not be working in state elections because Indians are voting very differently. Is that also something that the BJP should be conscious about when they sort of downsize a Vasundhara Raje, who by all indications is the most popular BJP leader in Rajasthan, or don't project a Shivraj Singh Chauhan?
Rajdeep, I think it is very clear that if you look at the performance of BJP or how people voted between 2014 and 2018, that was the time when people in different states and even in the Lok Sabha elections voted almost similar, because except there are few exceptions, Delhi was an exception, but that was the time when Prime Minister Modi's appeal was more or less even, whether it was an assembly election or a Lok Sabha election. There was hardly any difference, and the reason was very simple. That was the cycle when Congress was the ruling party and BJP was opposing the ruling party, and BJP managed to win large number of states. But after that the cycle has changed. BJP has completed 5 years in government in many states, and after that, look at the trend. After that, BJP has lost many state assembly elections. If I don't want to use many, but sizable number of states they have lost. And if you look at most of the states, Prime Minister Modi has been on the forefront of campaign. So clearly, if we go by this evidence, we clearly see that Prime Minister Modi's appeal in the assembly election has gone down because BJP has lost election. But the Prime Minister's appeal in the Lok Sabha election remains intact. Amitabh ji has already cited that data. We also did our post poll and we got the similar numbers that very large number of voters, 1/3 of the voter voted for BJP in 2019 election just because of Modi. So yes, there are different choices of voter.
Right.
Voters are making slightly different choices when it comes to assembly election and when it comes to a Lok Sabha election.
So
because now in the assembly election they are actually looking at who is going to be their leader in the state, who is going to be the chief minister. That is becoming an important consideration now.
So is it as a result, Dr. Shastri, about localize? Because we saw that in Karnataka, the kind of promises the Congress made, very localized promises that were made. You don't rely on national issues. Shehzad Poonawalla referred to Chandrayaan, referred to G20 and said, look at the performance of the center on these issues. Does that worry someone, a tribal you believe in Chhattisgarh, or indeed even in a Telangana, in rural Telangana? Do these matter, or they matter, the issues immediately that concern them are very, very localized?
Rajdeep, 2 points. First, I think all the points which Shehzad ji made were correct. Yes, there are achievements which the center and its leadership has made which are being spoken about. But when you're talking of a state assembly election, people are focusing on local issues. And coming from Karnataka, I would say we started this trend in 1984-85, which is now continuing across the country. When we voted for Rajiv Gandhi in a big way in the Lok Sabha elections and brought back Ramakrishna Hegde to power in 3 months' time. Now, if you see, as Sanjay ji said, since 2014, state after state, we are seeing this trend. One trend in a national election, one trend in a state assembly election, because clearly and visibly, the voter across the country today has a different lens from which she looks at the national election and a different lens of looking at the state election. Which brings me to my second point, Rajdeep. The leadership of the Prime Minister plays a major role in both these elections, national elections and state elections. But in a state election, when the party which is opposed to the Prime Minister's party has a visible, credible face at the local level, and the BJP does not have a similar face at the local level, then the Prime Minister's leadership is not able to take the party beyond a point, and that is when the rival is able to snatch the advantage. And this is the case in most of the states where we see this trend happening. So these were the 2 points I would emphasize on this issue.
Let me therefore take this further by raising the next question, since we are talking of issues that matter in state elections. For the last week, the Prime Minister has been tom-tomming women's reservation wherever he's gone, and Rahul Gandhi has been referring constantly to caste census. Now, are these issues that will play out in a state election? Shehzad Poonawalla, am I to believe that because, and some of the issues you raised earlier as well about G20 and success of Indian diplomacy, but women's reservation, do you believe that that will actually play a role in state elections where perhaps people are more worried about immediate bijli, sadak, pani, and that those become far more critical, swasth and shiksha? Do you believe women's reservation is going to be a central poll plank for your party even in a state election, Mr. Poonawalla?
Rajdeep, actually the Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam is a continuum, and if you see it actually begins, one of the stories begins from Madhya Pradesh itself. Madhya Pradesh, the Chief Minister is called Mama because of the schemes that he had launched which transformed the face of Madhya Pradesh, whether it is the Ladli Ladki, which has given benefits to at least 40 lakh women, whether it's the Mukhyamantri Kanyadan Yojana, and all of these were started when he came in his first term, by the way. The sex ratio of Madhya Pradesh has gone up from 912 to 956 because of the consistent efforts. Add to this the fact that 50% reservation has been given in every local body, even in Madhya Pradesh. 30% has been given in jobs. You have women desk in police stations in Madhya Pradesh, and then taking it a step further, the Prime Minister and his schemes were also targeted at women.
Sir, with due regard, sir, you saw in Karnataka, Mr. Poonawalla, the BJP actually trailed the Congress in women voters by about 6 to 8%, which made a huge difference because of the price of LPG cylinders being one of the critical issues in that election. So we've got suddenly the BJP claiming women's reservation we brought, but there are issues on the ground. We've seen the horrific rape that's taken place in Ujjain. We've seen similar rapes taking place in Congress-ruled Rajasthan. I don't want to make that a political issue, but on women's reservation, are you telling me women's reservation will offset maybe concerns that women have about basic issues like prices?
Rajdeep, if you could allow me to at least have one complete say and then interject with such a long question, it would have been better. But anyways, let me complete my thought. I'll come to your question. After that, the Prime Minister delivers to millions of women Ujjwala gas cylinders, Nal Se Jal, which has transformed the lives of those women who had to wait for 2 to 3 hours to fetch one pail of water. Whether it is co-ownership of houses, the Pakka Awases which have been given to the poor, whether it is the other opportunities that have opened up, including educational opportunities, and now add to this women's reservation that has been given. All of this has to be seen in a continuum. As far as Karnataka is concerned, I concede that in Karnataka they may have got a few more votes, but what have they done with that? They have increased milk prices. They have increased electricity tariff. In Madhya Pradesh, in Himachal, they said they would give 1500 to every woman. Ask Ajoy Kumar how many women have got 1500 rupees. In fact, in Himachal Pradesh, they have increased the prices of diesel ever since they've come to power by 6 rupees. In Rajasthan, they said Kisan Karj Maafi, 19,000 farmers have lost their lands. So has the Congress party lived up to the promises it made to the people? Point number one. Point number two, now coming on to the issue of, I think you were raising issues like local leaders being sidelined.
No, sir, I didn't know. Shehzad Poonawalla, now we've already discussed local leaders sidelined. I asked you a specific question about women's reservation, which you've responded to now.